Welcome to Aligned Entrepreneur Secrets. My name is Traci Bermingham, and I am here with Danny Nathan. Danny, after 20 years of product and technology experience, Danny has developed a habit of helping companies create new products and services and launch new ventures. In the past, he's been called a product person, a UX guy, a designer, a strategist, a marketer, a creative, and a few other choice names like the cleaner. Today, Danny is the founder of Apollo 21, a unique company that sits at the intersection of a management consultancy, product design studio, and venture studio. Apollo 21 helps clients foster transformational growth through the new venture creation, new product development, and the formation of internal venture building operations. In doing so, they help organizations rediscover an entrepreneurial spirit and establish a culture of innovation. Hi, Danny. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Yes, I'm so excited to have you here. So can you, I want to, before I even get into anything, that intro is big and impressive.
Oh, thanks.
And tell me what kind of projects you're working on.
We work on projects that run the gambit. We are not focused on a specific vertical, and so we've executed projects on anything from remote guarding, think like video security, to financial services, to projects in the Western sports space. We've done a ton of work in the kind of cowboy and rodeo area. We recently have been working with a company that operates delivery-only restaurants, building out the world's most efficient kitchen, and a bunch of other things in between. We have our own products as well that are focused on meeting culture and helping companies kind of understand and streamline their meeting culture. So kind of all over the map, really.
Very cool, very interesting. And how did you get here? What is your background? It's such an interesting, unique mix, right? Of services that you provide and kind of value that you provide. But you have to have a unique history to be able to
Yeah,
do something like that now.
I've bounced around a bit. I actually started my career in advertising and decided very quickly that I just wasn't having fun doing that. And so I kind of took it upon myself to figure out how to transition into a world that was more technology oriented and that really capitalizes on the opportunities that technology brings for brands and companies to interact with and add value to their customers' lives. And so I have spent some time in an innovation consultancy. I've bounced around a number of startups in head of product type of roles. And then in my last company, was asked to create sort of an internal consulting company for folks within our primary investors portfolio. And that ultimately led to the creation of Apollo 21. I spent the year prior to opening Apollo to kind of bouncing around those different companies in the portfolio and helping them use technology to solve problems is really what it came down to. And eventually one of the folks there tapped me on the shoulder and sort of said, "Hey, you seem to enjoy this, would you be interested in going out and doing it?" And so now I've gone out and done it.
And that's it. So good. So good. So talk to me. I want to go systems,
Okay.
right? So, and we were talking, at the beginning of the call, but I want to hear from you on something that was hard, you hated doing. It was like sludging through mud, and then you did something and now it's no longer an issue, or it's thriving, or whatever that is for you. But do you have an example for us, or something that you've experienced and solved?
Yeah, absolutely. I have a couple of thoughts that come to mind. One, as a company that is focused largely on venture building, process is one of our best friends, and I would argue one of our superpowers at Apollo 21. So we focus heavily on process and on understanding what steps need to be taken when to drive projects, companies, products, et cetera, to success. And so, as kind of an overarching idea, I appreciate your gravitation towards systems.
Yeah.
To give you a couple of discrete examples, one of the things that we realized about a year and a half ago, I guess, was if we wanted to make the idea of building ventures a core part of what we do, we had to have that level of rigor around our process and a clear understanding of where things might break down, where things had been successful for us in the past. And so I gathered up my leadership team for an offsite, and we spent about 3 days mapping out all of our processes internally. And that resulted in checklists and spreadsheets and things that we now use for every single project. So every project, when we kick it off, we have a client onboarding sheet that we go through, and then that sort of starts the chain of events, if you will, that we pay attention to as we go through each step of that project and process. So, we start with discovery, and we have a list of questions that we always ask, and then as we get into a build phase for a particular project or client, we have all of the different kind of aspects of that mapped out, et cetera. And that really took a lot of pressure off of us in terms of feeling like we had to figure it out on the fly every time, and gave us the structure that we needed to feel like we could repeat the process that we had built, knowing that it's never going to be the same 2 times through. Even regardless of how many checklists you have, that process is going to differ, especially when you're dealing with different types of products and different types of solutions for your clients. And so the rigor that we have added to the system gives us the constraints within which we can be as flexible and creative as we want.
So you took 3 days. I'm
Yes.
reiterating 3 days to what are the results that you've experienced from that? I heard a few, but I want to just be like, right, because I feel like there's so many that think like you did the work, right? You sat down and you created that foundation, that process that you needed to do the thing that you did, but it was an offsite,
Mhm.
3 days, right? It's not this, you didn't take months, you didn't,
No.
right? Like it wasn't this huge miserable thing. It was 3 days offsite thinking, figuring it out, brainstorming, right?
Yeah, it
Right?
was 3 intensive days of deciding what we wanted and what we needed to map out. And then, I mean, in fairness, we didn't finish the exercise end to end in 3 days, but by the time we finished that 3-day offsite, we had a very clear list in front of us of the areas that we knew we needed to define more clearly, and then we stepped away and did that, and that allowed us to divvy up the responsibility of defining that process across our organization. Our technology team was responsible for deciding what our technology process looked like, our product team, similarly, operations, et cetera. And so, really, what it did was force us to think very carefully about each step that we take when we're engaging a client, and document each of those steps so that now every time we go through that process, we don't have to think about what we need to do next, but we do force ourselves to think about whether that still makes sense to keep doing. So now that we have a defined process, we can uh, question that process whenever we need to, and know that we're questioning it because we've been through it before, and we feel like there is some value in determining whether what we had defined originally still fits. And so it allows for that process to be iterative over time, and for us to kind of fine tune and adjust that process as it makes sense for any given client, any given project, and for the evolution of our business.
I love that. And I'm going to guess that you have, because you've created these systems, the quality of the work that you and your team do is exceptional.
I would certainly like to believe so.
I would agree with that. I would probably assume that your clients love you and stick around because everything is so clear to them as well. They're right there. It's not, I see so many businesses that there's chaos, right? And that
Yeah.
clients like, I don't know what's happening. And then they get flustered and off they go. But with that, I'm assuming that your like client retention
Mhm.
probably excellent. The value that you're offering. And I heard you say earlier too that because you've thought about all of the logistics and the stuff that you need, that now you're able to be more creative. And
Yeah.
so you're actually able to not only have more fun, with what you're doing, but more flexible and just it's just better. It's more fun. It's a better product that results from kind of that higher vibe, higher place.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a huge believer that constraints breed creativity, because if you tell somebody that they can go anywhere, do anything, you immediately hit a moment of choice paralysis. You go, "Oh my God, I can do anything. I don't know what I should do."
Yes.
And when you have constraints in place, when you have guardrails in place, you go, "Okay, I know I need to get from here to there. How I do it is completely up to me." It could be a jetpack or a rocket ship or a skateboard or, whatever. Um, but the fun and the excitement is in figuring out how you're going to get from A to B, how you're going to accomplish the business goal. How do you create technology that makes the act of getting from A to B fun, exciting, easy, streamlined, etc., so that the people that we're building it for also have fun with it, or at least feel like there's been a weight lifted, like they too have been freed up to focus on the part of the work that they need to focus on.
I love that. I love that. So fast forwarding to today, what types of clients are you open to new clients?
Absolutely.
And what types of clients are you looking for? Like what if someone's listening, right? Like how do they know that they would be a good fit for you?
Yeah, we tend to focus on clients that are kind of mid-market up to enterprise. While it's not set in stone, we generally look for folks that are doing about $10 million in revenue a year or more. And from there, we generally look at one of three tasks when clients come to us. We are either helping them build a new product within their current and existing portfolio, helping them create a new venture that might sit outside of that existing portfolio, and a lot of that work comes down to working with innovation teams, helping them think about what it means to cultivate a culture of innovation internally and how culture needs to change to support that endeavor. And then the third place where we often get involved is a client will come to us and say, "We have a problem. We think technology can help us fix that problem, but we have no idea how to do that." And so, with those types of projects, we spend a lot of time learning very carefully about how those clients operate, what their core business goals are, and then what the pain points are in their processes, so that we can help them often define better or define processes for the first time, and then build technology to support those processes.
And if that's fantastic. And if they wanted to connect with you, how would they do that?
We're pretty easy to find. Our website is Apollo 21, the number 2 and 1.io. There's a ton of case studies and white papers and blog posts and things like that that offer a lot of information about how we approach our work and what types of work we excel at and who we excel partnering with. And then I am personally very active on LinkedIn specifically, and then on a bunch of other socials. I'm blah, blah, blah slash among many on just about everything. And of course, Apollo 21 is also on all of the socials as well. I've also been participating in a whole bunch of podcasts lately and things like that. So plenty of places to hear me talk ad nauseum about the things that we do and wax poetic about what I think about venture building and failure and all sorts of fun things.
Yeah, yeah, very cool. It's fun to talk about, isn't it?
Absolutely. I love sharing.
Yeah, very good. All right. So Danny Nathan, Apollo 21, thank you very much. It was such a pleasure having you. I will make sure that all of the links that you just mentioned are in the show notes. So
Awesome.
as you're listening to this, make sure that you click below and check Danny out and check out Apollo 21 and make the connection. I think that what you're offering is excellent and it's obviously high quality and you got it together. So well done.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me.
Thank you.